may please be seated. Good morning, class of 2019. My name is Danielle Croyle, and I am the current president of the Weber State Alumni Association. I am pleased to welcome you on behalf of the faculty, staff, and governing boards to our 153rd graduation celebration. We'd like to give a special thanks to the Weber State University Wind Ensemble, Dr. Shannon Roberts, for performing the prelude and processional music. Seated on the platform are my fellow members of the Board of Trustees, Nolan Karras, Kirsten Katrubis, Carla Bergeson, Jeff Stevens, and Jordan Slater. Jordan is also currently serving as your student body president. We are pleased to have Dr. F. Ann Milner, past president of the university and honorary degree recipient, with us today. We welcome Jessie Anderson of the Utah Board of Regents. Representing the Utah Representing the Utah System of Higher Education is Commissioner Dave Buehler. Past honorary degree recipients, faculty, staff, and student body officers are seated on the floor. I would especially like to acknowledge our faculty and staff who are retiring this year. Thank you for your dedication and service to the university. We wish you well in your future endeavors. Let's give them a round of applause. You may not realize it, but on the day you were accepted into Weber State University, you joined a lifelong community, a family of Wildcats. Soon, in just a matter of minutes, you will officially graduate from Weber State. We encourage you to keep in touch with your alma mater and let us know about your continued success. Graduates, on behalf of the Alumni Association, I would like to say that we, your Wildcat family, are exceptionally proud of the work you have done. Now I would ask of all of you to please stand so we can put the spotlight where it belongs. So can we have all the graduates stand? Please keep standing. We'd like to honor you today. Are you ready? Lights out!
Good morning, graduates. As we stand here in the D-Event Center, I can't help but think of when we gathered to cheer on the Wildcats for basketball games. And this pregame music gets everyone fired up and pumped up. And we wanted to recreate that same experience for you, our graduates, because you are celebrating a significant milestone today, the successful completion of your degrees. You have made your dream happen, and we wanted to be louder and prouder about it. So, are you ready to graduate? Let's hear it. All right, thank you. Graduates, you can please be seated. My name is Brad Mortensen, and I have been president of Weber State University since January 1st, just shy of 4 months. Thank you. But I'm actually a longtime staff member of Weber State. I've had the privilege of attending 29 WSU commencement ceremonies. They're always inspiring and moving, and I look forward to them each year. But you, the class of 2019, will always hold a special place in my heart because this is my first commencement ceremony as president of Weber State. This spring, Weber State has 3,160 graduates. Yeah, thank you. You know, I love numbers. After all, my background is in the exhilarating area of budget analysis. But I also love stories. And in my opinion, the best stories are about people from Weber State. Take Nayed Davis, for example. She's graduating today with a Bachelor of Science degree in accounting. She has an incredible job offer from a high-ranking agency in the Department of Defense. I'd love to be more specific, but as they say, that's classified information. But surprisingly, Nayed was once a college dropout. Nayed's family immigrated to the United States when she was very young. And Nayed realized in high school that she was really good with numbers, and she dreamt of going to college out of state. Her plans changed when she had her first child, and she enrolled at Weber State. Everything was going well until she noticed a change in her eyesight. Her vision was slowly starting to decline. She had trouble seeing what professors were writing on the chalkboard, the whiteboard. She struggled reading her textbooks. Too embarrassed to tell anyone what was happening, she quit school and took a customer service job, a job that was unfulfilling and wouldn't help her provide for her family long term. Having discovered that she had a rare degenerative eye disease, Nayed re-enrolled at Weber State, and this time she sought the help of our Disability Services Office. The office provided her with screen readers and note takers, and she excelled. I met Nayed at a Leadership to Legacy alumni mentoring event last year, where she told me that despite overcoming many challenges, she still had doubts if she would be able to succeed in the workplace. I introduced Nayed to Kristen Cox, the budget director for the state of Utah, who is also blind. Chris sternly told her, "It's not a matter of if, it's a matter of how." Chris offered Nayed an internship at the state capitol, where she learned strategies to overcome her vision and succeed in the workplace. She struggled, she persisted, and she succeeded. Nayed no longer thinks in terms of ifs. She thinks in terms of how. The moral of this story, graduates, is to be confident. When something is challenging, think of how you will overcome it and continue to make your dreams happen. With the foundation of your Weber State education and the hard work you've put in, it's not a matter of if for any of you. It's a matter of how. Now, I would like to know more about all of your stories. So if you'll indulge me in continuing this 20-year tradition, please stand, graduates, if you are in the first generation in your family to graduate from college. Thank you. You can be seated. Okay, now please stand if you worked part-time or full-time while getting your degree. Thank you. You can be seated. Please stand if you have a job waiting for you or you are continuing in graduate or professional school. Thanks. Please take your seats. And finally, please stand if you are a veteran of the armed services or an active military member. Thank you for your service to our country. You can be seated as well. All right, let's give all of our graduates another big round of applause. Graduates, as we celebrate your accomplishments today, I would like to mention 2 faculty members who have transformed the lives of our graduating class and many others. They are the recipients of the 2019 Presidential Distinguished Professor Award, the Brady Presidential Distinguished Professor Award, made possible by a generous contribution from Rodney and Mitzi Brady. Rod Brady, who passed away in 2017, was president of Weber State College from 1978 to 1985, and he left a lasting impression on this institution. We would like to sincerely thank Mitzi and the Brady family for continuing this legacy of support for Weber State University's faculty. The Brady Presidential Distinguished Professors for 2019 are Dr. Leah Murray, Political Science and Philosophy Professor, and Dr. Shiwa Wang, Performing Arts Professor and Director of Strings Studies. The university will formally recognize these worthy recipients during their respective convocations in the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences and the Talitha E. Lindquist College of Arts and Humanities. But please join me in giving Dr. Murray and Dr. Wang our enthusiastic congratulations and a warm round of applause. Okay, thank you. Let me now outline the next portion of our program. You will soon have the opportunity to hear from this year's student speaker, Austin Nelson. Following Austin's remarks, we will view a short video featuring fellow graduates. Nolan Karras, Chair of the Board of Trustees, will then introduce this year's honorary degree recipients. Members of the Weber State Board of Trustees and President's Council will perform the hoodings and presentations of honorary degrees to Jeannie Hall, Robert Harris, Judith Mitchell, and Jack Wallen. Jeannie Hall will then provide our commencement address. She will be followed by a performance by the Weber State University Wind Ensemble featuring Kara Richardson on the clarinet. Originally from Brigham City, Austin Nelson is a history major who was recognized by the College of Social and Behavioral Sciences as the most outstanding student researcher and for writing the best history thesis of 2019. Last fall, Austin received a grant from WSU's Office of Undergraduate Research to visit Lisbon, Portugal, where he researched the archive of a fugitive slave community dating back to Portugal's colonization of Brazil. Austin says, "This trip confirmed my passion for history. Every minute in the archive was simply thrilling. With every 400-year-old letter or manuscript the archivists handed me, I felt like I was opening presents on Christmas morning." Austin plans to pursue a PhD in history following graduation. His dream is to become a history professor. Please help me welcome Austin Nelson.
I would like to tell you all about the most wonderful and perfect human being who ever walked the face of this earth, my grandma. My grandma believed in me more than physics professors believe in gravity, more than history professors believe in class conflict. And I know that's an accurate characterization because those professors based their belief on evidence, and meanwhile, I gave my grandma plenty of solid evidence that I wasn't worthy of believing in. And she didn't care. It never changed her opinion of me. The unwavering strength of her belief in me had a profound effect, but I wouldn't realize it until she was gone. Today, my ideas about kindness, gentleness, and unconditional love were gifts given to me by my grandma's decision to believe in me. Certain forces, be they people, places, or ideas, come into our lives and profoundly touch us, and we are never the same again. To me, Weber State University is one of those forces. This university's greatest treasure, and there are many of them, is an ability to look at people and see not what they are on the outside, but what they could become, their potential. Take me, for example. What did Weber State University see in me? Well, let me start with what this university did not see in me. It did not see someone who had set impressive new standards of abysmal academic performance at 2 previous universities, both of whom had politely asked me not to come back. It did not see someone who was at the absolute end of their rope, tortured by the knowledge that while intelligent, I was somehow unable to figure out how to succeed academically. Weber State University looked beyond what I was on paper and saw something worthy of believing in. This school believed in me the same way that my grandma believed in me. And belief like that is powerful. Much like sunlight focused through a magnifying glass. If you point it at something, sooner or later it's going to start a fire, which is exactly what happened with me. Once I saw that Weber State University believed in me, I started to believe in me. And that belief in my potential was the first step in the road that led me to where I now stand. And my story is in no way unique. Many of you could stand here and tell similar stories. And the common thread running through all of those stories would be how much you can accomplish when someone believes in you. And so as you go out to the world, class of 2019, always remember that Weber State University looked deep inside each one of you and said, I believe in you. Let that belief act like a flame in your heart, keeping you warm during the dark times that each of us will face. Above all, use that flame to ignite others by choosing to place your belief in what someone might become rather than what they currently are. And so, out of everything I've learned here at Weber State University, the lesson I will cherish for the rest of my life, the lesson that I will take with me as I pursue a PhD in history, the lesson that I will pass down to my son, Hamilton, who joined our family on Monday. And the lesson that I'll pass down to his children is that when you look at another person, don't be fooled by what is on the outside. Choose to look deeper. Focus on that person's limitless, untapped potential, look them square in the eyes, and tell that person, I believe in you. Beginning today, class of 2019, our time has come to pay it forward. But I already know that you will because I believe in you. Thank you and congratulations, fellow Wildcats.
Making your dream happen is putting yourself in the right environment and then doing the work.
It's accomplishing your goals and accepting the fact that your goals may change throughout time.
Making your dreams happen is a great phrase to have in mind as we're here at Weber State because it shows us that there's a big process behind our goals.
To be so close to dreams that you set when you were young, for me it's a great feeling.
I've had incredible experiences at Weber State. I think being a theater major, we joke that you kind of live in the Browning Center. My freshman year, I remember coming onto the empty stage and wondering what was a possibility for me in the future. And now, at graduation, these stages are my history. They are my timeline. I chose to study business, econ, and musical theater because I found a love for the theater very young. I've been performing since I can remember. But I was also raised by a mother who is a businesswoman. And so I knew I wanted to study business before I thought of theater as a career. I feel like theater and business complement each other because, especially in economics, I think business economics is the study of why people make decisions. And theater is also all about why people make decisions. And secondly, theater is a business, it's show business. So you do have to have sort of a business mindset. I think college definitely was the best time of my life. I've met so many beautiful minds that I've been able to work with.
My journey to graduation started forever ago. I was a high school dropout, and When my daughter was 4, she was attending Head Start, and they offered you a GED or a diploma. And I decided back then I wanted a diploma just so my kids at least knew you had to get a high school degree. So I started Weber State as a business major. And as a business major, you have to take environmental appreciation. So I took that class, and that's where I met Dr. Clark. And he had such a passion for the environment that I'm like, I have to figure out what he's doing, so that's where I became a botany major. I was initially started out being just the quiet kid in class, but as I got in botany department, I was able to open up and step out of my box. I learned I was a lot smarter than I ever gave myself credit for. I have a 9-year-old granddaughter who I actually bring up to the greenhouse, and she'll help me work in the greenhouse when I'm here. And she lets everybody know she bleeds purple and that Weber State is the most important school out there. Now that I'm graduating, I will be going on to graduate school at University of Omaha, Nebraska. So she might have questions when I'm going to a different school, but right now there's no doubt she's going to attend Weber State.
Weber State University has helped me realize my dream by giving me the chance to not only go to school and do it online, actually 100%, but also to work full-time and to care for my family at the same time. I think that it does require a very special type of person to do nursing. Not that I profess to be, the perfect person for the job, but I think that really it takes a sense of taking a step back and focusing on the needs of another person. And I think that nursing for me was kind of a way to work in a job doing something that I loved because I got to serve people every single day. Nursing is such an interesting career because you can prepare all you want. You can learn all the things you want from textbooks, but until you get at the bedside, you're not going to be able to actually do it. Because that topic is so important, I put together an honors project focusing on time management for nursing students. I went and presented to a group of Snow College students at Utah Valley Hospital. And I went over things like what a typical day is for a working nurse, what things come up that are perhaps unexpected, and how we can plan to be most flexible with those things. Weber State is so affordable and accessible. I don't think that without Weber State I would have been able to be where I am right now in my career path.
I ended up at Weber State basically through basketball. The phrase that I got a lot before coming to Weber was that I had a heart of a lion and that I was, 5'2", but I played like I'm 6'6". What I learned on the court is that everything doesn't always go your way. It's kind of the same life lesson that I learned even at a young age. The murder of my mom is what drove me. I couldn't let it be the reason that I ended up failing. My grandparents, they obviously took me in and I never needed for anything. So to my grandparents, I want to say thank you for always providing for me and always being there for me, caring for me. I do expect a successful future coming out of Weber State. It's just like an accomplishment, an achievement, like I'm finally done with school. And it's like a relief that now allows me to go do whatever I want to do now.
Weber State has made it so that I've been able to focus on my family, focus on my work, and also focus on making my dreams in the educational and professional realms happen.
Weber State's definitely taught me to step out of my box and become the person I want to be.
My dream for my colleagues at graduation would be to keep pushing yourself. This world is so big and there are so many beautiful parts of it that your education doesn't end at the university level.
Good morning. We will now proceed with the awarding of the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities. This is the highest honor Weber State confers upon an individual, and we are pleased to award such a degree today. President Mortensen, honored guests, and distinguished faculty, it is my recommendation as chair of the Board of Trustees that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred upon Robert Harris. Will Jordan Slater, member of the Board of Trustees, and Brett Perazzi, Weber State's Vice President for Student Affairs, please escort him to the podium and assist in the hooding.
Scholar and humanitarian Bob Harris exemplifies the highest standards of the legal and business professions while being a selfless friend of the community. Educated at Swarthmore College, Creighton Law School, and the Harvard Business School, Mr. Harris built a distinguished career in law, holding executive positions at Thiokol, Baker Hughes, and Ultrasystems. For more than 20 years, he has served as a judge pro tem in the Utah State Courts. Mr. Harris and his wife Marcia have 3 children and 2 grandchildren. The Northern Utah community has benefited from Mr. Harris's eloquence in counsel, as he has served in leadership capacities with several nonprofit organizations. Although neither graduated from Weber State, the Harrises are outspoken ambassadors for the university. Along with supporting students, the Harrises pledged $1 million toward the creation of an endowment to recognize and reward innovative teaching, culminating in the Presidential Teaching Excellence Award bestowed on 12 outstanding Weber State faculty members in 2019. Mr. Harris was instrumental in kickstarting the Bonneville Chamber Music Festival and has remained a major supporter of performing arts at Weber State University and in the community. Weber State University is pleased to recognize Bob Harris with a Doctor of Humanities honorary degree.
In addition of his exceptional devotion to law, justice, and the pursuit of knowledge, and his resolute support of quality teaching, the Board of Trustees and President Brady L. Mortensen, on behalf of Weber State, confer upon Robert Harris the degree of Doctor of Humanities. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. Thank you.
President Mortensen, an honored guest, distinguished faculty, as my recommendation as chair of the Board of Trustees, that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred upon Judith Mitchell. Will Carla Bergeson and Jeff Stevens, members of the Board of Trustees, please escort her to the podium and assist in the hooding.
Dr. Judith Pugmire Mitchell has spent a lifetime contributing to a culture of learning at Weber State University and in the Ogden community at large. Dr. Mitchell received a bachelor's degree from Stanford University before earning a second bachelor's degree from Weber State, followed by a master's degree in education from Utah State University and a PhD from the University of Utah. Dr. Mitchell and her husband Ralph have 3 children and 5 grandchildren. In 1983, Dr. Mitchell began working at Weber State College as an adjunct instructor. A year later, she joined the elementary education faculty, specializing in language arts and special education, eventually directing the Master of Education program and serving as elementary education department chair. Dr. Mitchell was selected as Educator of the Year by the Utah Association for Supervision and Curriculum Development, along with being named a WSU Crystal Crest Alumna of the Year. Dr. Mitchell has a deep respect for Ogden City's unique heritage and serves on the Landmarks Commission. She has been active with the Weber County Heritage Foundation and served as president of the Junior League of Ogden and the Ogden Symphony Ballet Association. Weber State University is pleased to recognize Dr. Judith Pugmire Mitchell with a Doctor of Humanities honorary degree.
Of her incomparable commitment to teacher education and her exemplary leadership on campus and in her community, the Board of Trustees and President Brad L. Mortensen, on behalf of Weber State University, confer upon Judith Mitchell the degree of Doctor of Humanities. President Mortensen and honored guests, distinguished faculty, it is my recommendation as chair of the Board of Trustees that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred upon Jack Wallen. Will Danielle Croyle, and a member of the Board of Trustees, and Norm Tarbox, Weber's Vice President for Administrative Services, please escort him to the podium and assist in the hooding.
Ogden native Dr. Jack Wallen has devoted his life to treating people affected with diabetes, thyroid, and other debilitating endocrine diseases. In 1965, Dr. Wallen graduated from Weber State College with a bachelor's degree in chemistry before earning a PhD in biochemistry and a medical degree from the University of Utah School of Medicine. Dr. Wallen and his wife Bonnie have 3 children and 10 grandchildren. Together, the Wallens founded Endocrine Research Specialists, a company dedicated to finding new treatments for potentially devastating diseases. Dr. Wallen is a past president of the Utah State chapter of the American Diabetes Association and chair of the Department of Medicine at McKay Hospital. In 2012, he was named Doctor of the Year by the Weber County Medical Alliance and Weber County Medical Society. The Wallens share a longtime passion for visual art and sculpture that began after they enrolled in a ceramics course at Weber State. The Wallens have been involved as donors, participants, and volunteers with many community art organizations as well as Weber State University. The couple received a Mayor's Award for their support of the arts in Ogden City. Weber State University is pleased to recognize Dr. Jack Wallen with a Doctor of Humanities honorary degree.
In recognition of the preeminent contributions to the advancement of science and medicine, and for his years of devoted service to his community and to the state, the Board of Trustees and President Brad L. Mortensen, on behalf of Weber State University, confer upon Jack Wallen the degree of Doctorate of Humanities. President Mortensen, an honored guest, distinguished faculty, it is my recommendation as chair of the Board of Trustees that the honorary degree of Doctor of Humanities be conferred upon Jeannie Hall. Will Kirsten Katrubis, member of the Board of Trustees, and Adrian Andrews, Weber's Assistant Vice President for Diversity and Chief Diversity Officer, please escort her to the podium and assist in the hooding.
Jeannie Nowak Hall is committed to lifting those in need by contributing generously her time and talents to make the community better for all. While a student at Weber State, Ms. Hall represented the college in the Miss Utah Scholarship Pageant. She also performed in choral ensembles and held leading roles in musical theater productions. Ms. Hall and her husband, Alan, have 6 children, all Weber State graduates, and 20 grandchildren. After their marriage, the Halls joined the Peace Corps and traveled to Brazil to work alongside villagers to build clean water supplies and address poverty-related issues. For nearly 20 years, Ms. Hall was a high school counselor in the Ogden School District working with at-risk youth. For many years, Ms. Hall shared her musical talent as a second alto in the Tabernacle Choir at Temple Square. Ms. Hall served as past president of the Boys and Girls Clubs of Weber Davis and has been honored by many groups in the community for her efforts to help those in need. Ms. Hall co-chairs the Alan and Jeannie Hall Foundation with a goal to improve the lives of low-income families through education, compassionate care, and cultural experiences. The Halls support multiple scholarships and programs at Weber State University. Weber State University is pleased to recognize Jeannie Nowak Hall with a Doctor of Humanities honorary degree.
I love him.
And I love her.
I love you too, Alan.
In recognition of her unyielding commitment to improving the human condition. And for her exemplary life of faith and philanthropy, the Board of Trustees and Brad L. Mortensen confer upon Jeannie Hall the degree of Doctor of Humanities. I'm pleased to introduce to you our commencement speaker and honorary degree recipient, Jeannie Hall, who Alan and I both love.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so excited to be here. Too excited, right? James will do it. Alan told me, he said, he did this a lot of times. He said he wore a suit and then they could hook it to the button, but anyway. All right, good morning, Wildcats. This has been so much fun. I have loved being here. I have loved seeing you. And I loved the look on the faces of the faculty when you walked in. You have earned their love, their respect, and their admiration. As I begin, though, I have to give a giant shout out to Weber State's new president, Brad L. Mortensen. President, woo! This is not in my script, but I have to tell you something funny. Maybe 10, 11 years ago, Alan and I were invited, I think, by President Milner to sit in one of the boxes over for the football game. And so it was really cool, and they're, giving you treats, and it's really fun. And there's this young man there, and he's bringing you popcorn and a little ice cream, and I thought, oh, you're so darling. And I think later in the game, and I'm sure we were winning, I said, what year are you? And I'm the vice president. I did tell him I could be his mother. Class of 2019, I am so thrilled to be with you today to celebrate this milestone in your lives. You are surrounded by people who love you. We are all here to honor you. Distinguished educators, professors, and faculty members are all rejoicing in your accomplishments. And most importantly, your families and friends who have watched you succeed and achieve your dream of a college education. What a glorious day! Woo! I'll tell you one other little fun thing. My mother's in heaven, but my mother actually earned her doctorate, and she is smiling today. I keep forgetting where I'm looking. Almost exactly 50 years ago, on a beautiful Saturday morning, Alan and I received our Weber State diplomas. We were excited and perhaps a little nervous about the future. Actually, we were scared spitless because 4 days later we were to marry. I would like to share with you a little about our journey since we graduated and some important principles that we have learned along the way. I was 4 when I graduated, just remember. 1969 was a time of unrest, turbulence in the United States. We had experienced tumultuous decade that included the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., and Senator Robert F. Kennedy. The war was raging in Vietnam. We had over 335,000 U.S. troops there at that time. And by May of 1970, over 50,000 Americans had lost their lives. What could 2 newly married college graduates do to make this world a better place? A few months before our graduation, I was wandering through the Union Building. I wasn't checking out boys because I already had a cute one coming. I was attracted to a display manned by recruiters for the United States Peace Corps. This program was established in 1961 by President Kennedy, and it seemed that this might be an opportunity for both of us to serve our country and also give us a little time to be together before Alan would be sent to Vietnam. Amazingly, all the pieces fell into place, and a few short weeks after graduating, we began our adventures, our life together on the edge of the Amazon jungle in Bahia, Brazil. Not bad for a little girl from Roy, Utah now, Ogden. As a very naive 20-year-old bride, I had lofty expectations for our honeymoon year, but I was in for a surprise. Our first home was a pink adobe dwelling, approximately 12 feet wide and about 35 feet long. We had a clay-tiled roof, bright red cement floors, easy to wash, and a single light bulb with a pull chain that hung from a beam in each of the 3 little rooms. There was one window, but we had no glass. There were shutters that you could close at night, a front door, 2 stools, a small table, and a bed. A large mosquito net hung over our bed to keep the flying insects, the spiders, and giant cockroaches from descending upon us during the night. Our kitchen had a small stove and oven that was powered by a botijão, a propane tank, and a tiny refrigerator that actually worked when there was electricity. There was a sink with a faucet, but every drop of water had to be boiled for 20 minutes and then cooled before we could drink it. We showered in rainwater. There's more, but we'll tell you later. Captured in a deep wooden box on the roof. Before the shower, I would boil a large pan of water, and Alan would remove the number 10 tin can that was weighed down with rocks that had been strategically placed over the shower drain. As soon as he lifted it off, I poured the scalding liquid down the hole. I did this so the rats in the sewer would not come up while we were standing in our rainwater shower. And most of the time, it worked. I still remember one little gray head popping up, and I popped right out. I washed all our clothes, our bedding, our towels in a round metal basin on the floor filled with water. Kneeling on the ground, I would lean over the basin and scrub every item one by one. The sweat would drip down my face and neck in this hot jungle climate. I hung the clothes on a line in the walled area behind the house, where there were large black vulture-like birds perched on the wall watching me. I'm not sure that anything I learned at Weber State could have prepared me for this remarkable experience. We realized we had enjoyed a very sheltered, almost privileged life in Utah, and now living among some of the poorest of the poor in primitive conditions, our eyes were opened. More importantly, that year of representing our country set our hearts on a 50-year journey of service. We discovered that our education and background had supplied us with some unique tools to serve the wonderful people of Itajuipe. We learned what it was not only to live in poverty, but to be in the minority. The good people of Itajuipe were Black. Their ancestors had been kidnapped and brutally dragged from their homes in Africa to become slaves of the Portuguese landowners in Brazil. They were forced to labor on cocoa plantations. Alan and I stood out from the crowd. We were pretty odd looking, blonde hair, blue eyes, and pasty white skin. But we were treated with kindness and goodwill. Children were especially curious. One of my dear little friends, 14-year-old Fatima, kept glancing at my pasty white legs one day. I realized, looking down, they were dotted with yellow iodine splotches, meant to reduce the infection from the many flea bites that I had all over my legs. She was puzzled. Gianni, do white people have yellow blood? I assured her that my blood was exactly the same as hers, bright red, although a little purple too. Our outsides looked different, but our insides were just the same. We spent a year with these good people. We tried to make their lives better by teaching them to work together, to slow the spread of disease. We taught them to build above-ground outhouses. You can't dig a hole because in the jungle, the water table's right there. Before that, they were simply throwing human waste outside the huts. We encouraged them to construct a clean, centrally located water source. And we taught them the power of petitioning the government to bring electricity to areas of the town where they lived. We grew to love these people as we served them, respecting their courage in the face of enormous challenges and grateful for the life lessons they taught us. It was an incredible, incredible year. And we'll keep going because that got put in the wrong place. Sorry. We returned to Utah and began graduate school at BYU, where we each pursued our master's degrees. We were amazed living in married student housing with linoleum floors, cinder block walls, and hot and cold running water that you could drink. And I learned that in addition to the parasites I had contracted in Brazil, I was also pregnant with our first child, a son who was born 8 months later. 2 years passed, and we graduated in our chosen fields and began another chapter in our lives. In the 50 years, oh my gosh, that woman's old. In the 50 years since our Weber State commencement, we have learned many lessons and enjoyed untold blessings of family and careers. We have tried our best to give back in appreciation for all the opportunities we have experienced. My fellow Wildcats, I would like to briefly share with you several more beliefs that have deep personal meaning for me. Service, number one. The next is gratitude. There are 3 individuals from Weber State that Alan and I had 50 years ago. If you think I'm old, no, I didn't mean that, Dr. Carson. But they have great significance for me. One is Dr. Gary Carson, a psychology professor who became and is still a cherished friend, a mentor, and an exceptional example. He shared with me his warm, nurturing nature, his personal wisdom, and his desire to lift others. The second person was Dr. Evelyn Harris. She was my vocal coach, and for the 3 years I attended Weber State. She helped me with my senior recital and coached me through every theatrical and musical production I participated in. She shared her wit, her energy, her passion, and the knowledge of vocal pedagogy, always encouraging me to develop my talent. The third individual is Dean Hurst, or as many of you may know him, Mr. Weber State. I learned from Dean as he guided me in my first leading lady role in a college musical theater production. He and his wife, Carol, also helped me to see new opportunities for service right here in our community. Each of these exemplary people from Weber State have profoundly influenced my life. Dr. Carson helped me gain the knowledge that enabled me to work as a school counselor, a profession I loved. Evelyn Harris developed my love of music and gave me the courage and skills to audition for the Tabernacle Choir. Dean Hurst has continued to be an example of service, enthusiasm, and love for Weber State and this community. I thank the Lord that I was privileged to cross paths with these remarkable individuals during my studies at Weber State and continuing on through my life. Graduates, may I encourage you to express your gratitude to the mentors and teachers you have had here at Weber State who have helped shape your life. Another core belief that I hold dear is that each of us can use our unique passions, skills, and knowledge to bless the lives of others. I have served on a committee in the CCEL, the Center for Community Engaged Learning, right here in the Union Building, that has helped fund visionary projects from faculty, staff, and students that address needs in our community. So I just want to tell you briefly about 3 fun things. So imagine, I don't know how many of you are science majors or education majors, but imagine Dr. Adam Johnston from physics, science, and education dancing around with Professor Eric Stern from the dance department. Fun! These dynamic, creative teachers express their passions and expertise in connecting artistic and scientific thinking. A young woman who graduated from Weber State several years ago in social work started the most amazing nonprofit. She had a passion for helping troubled youth. Youth Futures provides access to safe shelter, collaborative resources, and respectful guidance to troubled youth, thus lowering the rates of youth suicide and homelessness. Now in addition to her shelter in Ogden, she has one in St. George. Lives have been saved and tragedies averted because of this student, and I have to feel just a little bit proud because our little committee in the CCEL helped fund some of these things. So Kristen Mitchell, we salute you. And a final example, and I have zillions, but a final example of projects funded through this was put forth by a very devoted Weber State staff member, Monica Rodriguez Mesa. Monica is passionate in her desire to nurture and mentor Latino students in their university studies through building leadership and relationships by means of Weber State's Ballet Folklorico. Woo! Students involved in this program express their talents, culture, and overwhelming desire for a better future through their education and dance. They are role models in our community. My beloved friends, each of us is unique and different. Some of us are a little more different, but we are each individuals and we have our own passions and skills, but we can use those, whatever they are, to better our world, one person at a time. I encourage you to use your education to bless not only your life and the lives of your family members, but everyone in your sphere of influence. Who can say how far your wonderful contributions will go? My final thought is to leave a legacy of love. One of the greatest men I have ever known is my 98-year-old father-in-law, Eugene Hall. Grandpa has lived a life of service to God, family, and mankind. He has lived with us for the past 13 years. He grew up in poverty during the Great Depression with his 4 other brothers. He enlisted in the U.S. Navy and served in World War II for almost 4 years. He had a loving wife and 5 children. When he returned from the Navy, he used the GI Bill to become a pharmacist and used this profession to serve others, support his family, and financially help those in need. I have known him and loved him for over 50 years. Throughout his life, he has lived 2 very important principles. Number 1, he never judges. I loved Austin. In fact, if Grandpa could get along with your grandma, and maybe, who knows when, but maybe. Woo! I love that. because he, Grandpa, looks for the best in each individual, no matter their circumstances. Quick aside, there were ladies of ill repute many years ago on 25th Street, and some of them ran out of money before they had enough of their antibiotic prescriptions. They all knew Grandpa. He didn't care if they could pay. He served them. It was a doctor's prescription. Secondly, he learned to give sincere praise and compliments. Grandpa can no longer care for himself. He is confined to a wheelchair, and he depends upon others for his personal, most private needs. He has no earthly power, no fame, nor riches. Dementia has taken his abilities to remember people or have any knowledge of his surroundings, and yet he still exhibits those two perfect qualities. He doesn't know or recognize any of his caregivers, yet each individual who serves him hears his words of praise and leaves feeling loved and honored for their assistance. Beloved graduates, we can each take a lesson from this great man. I personally challenge myself, and hopefully each of us, to refrain from judging and to look for the good in others, like Austin's grandma and like Grandpa Hall. Excuse me. Fellow Wildcats, on this wonderful day, we rejoice in your accomplishments and wish you the greatest success as you begin your new endeavors. I hope you might consider some thoughts that I have shared with you today. I believe they will make your life richer and more abundant. Look for ways to serve. Express gratitude for those who have assisted you along your journey. Use your unique talents, skills, knowledge, and abilities and education to bless the lives of those around you and leave a legacy of love. These are principles I have learned and tried to apply in the 50 years, oh my goodness, since I graduated from Weber State. We love this institution. We believe Weber State University gave us the solid start in our lives and brings us such joy still. Alan was and still is, my most favorite thrilling discovery at Weber State. I did love psychology, but he was really cute. With him, we have found our greatest treasure and our dearest friends. And these are our beloved children, our children-in-law, and grandchildren. We thank the Lord every day for the blessings he has bestowed upon us. We pray this day he will bless each of you. We salute you and honor you, Wildcat Class of 2019. May you live your dreams.
Thank you. Thank you, Wind Ensemble. Kara, Dr. Roberts, thank you very much. And Jeannie, thank you. Thank you. All right, we will now proceed with the presentation of candidates for graduation by Provost Dr. Madan Miner.
Will the candidates receiving an associate's degree please rise? Will the candidates receiving a bachelor's degree please rise? Will the candidates receiving a master's degree please rise? And now I'm going to ask all of you to rise again. The associates, the bachelors, the masters. President Mortensen, as Provost of Weber State University, it is my distinct honor and pleasure to present these candidates who have completed all requirements of the certificates and degrees indicated in the program of the day, and thus are deemed worthy of distinction.
Graduates, in the name of Weber State University, upon the recommendation of its faculty, and by the authority of the Utah State Board of Regents, I hereby confer upon each of you the appropriate certificate or degree indicated in the program of the day. As a symbol of your achievement, will all of the graduates please move the tassels from the right side of their caps to the left side. Graduates, although the journey you have taken has been a transformative one for you, one thing has remained constant: the support you have received. Your graduation today is a personal achievement, but one that would not have been possible without the family, friends, faculty, and others who supported you. Let's give them a round of applause. You can be seated. Yes, sorry. We appreciate everyone who planned and organized and participated in the commencement ceremony this morning. If there are any in the audience who would like additional copies of the program, they'll be available at Portal 14, and you can pick them up after the conclusion of the ceremony. Now, would you please join the University Wind Ensemble, conducted by Shannon Roberts, and student vocalist Jessica Morgan in one final tradition, singing our school song, Purple and White. The early beginnings of this tradition include an October 1922 trek led by student body president J. Willard Marriott, Weber College president Aaron Tracy, and Board of Education president David O. McKay. They hiked with 300 students, practically the entire student body, to the top of Mount Ogden to raise the United States flag and the purple and white Weber banner. After doing so, they sang the Star-Spangled Banner and the new school song, Purple and White. The words to Purple and White are printed inside the back of your program. The recessional by the graduates will then conclude this spring's commencement exercises. So audience, platform guests, and faculty should remain standing during the recessional. So if you will all now please rise for our school song, Purple and White.
and I will stand by